the recording whenever you want.
We are ready.
Excellent. Well, hi everyone. Thanks for joining us for this next installment of our Human Resources series. My name is Kara Orban, and I am a consultant here at the Montana State Library. And today we're going to be talking about onboarding, helping new library employees succeed. And so last sometimes it feels like weeks or years, right? Last week we heard from Tracy and she talked about hiring best practices. And so we're going to continue this conversation with what to do after you've hired a great person. So first of all, I wanted to ask who is in the room? I know a lot of you, I don't know everybody. I'm just curious if we have directors, managers, library trustees. Who's joining us today? You can respond in chat if you like. Just curious. So as we're talking about our hiring practices and onboarding practices that can help us to shape that conversation. So yeah, a lot of directors. Director from Kentucky, welcome. I used to live in Berea, Kentucky long ago. Athens, Georgia. Hey, welcome. All right. Wow, we have folks from all over the place. Welcome. Glad you're here. Okay, so it sounds like we're mostly talking to directors, so I'll keep that in mind. But this is also information that can be very relevant for a library board of trustees if you're hiring a new director. So be addressing that as well. So let's talk about your first day. You can just think about this, or if you have thoughts, you're welcome to put those in chat as well. And we could be talking about your current job or just any job in the past where you clearly remember your first day at work. How were you feeling before you showed up? When you showed up, were you nervous? Were you excited? Uh, what was your schedule like that day? Did you have a clear idea of what you were supposed to be doing? Or were you kind of like, I'm just pretending I know what I'm doing? Do you remember what you might have learned that very first day? You confused? Is there anything that if you could go back, you would change about your first day? I'd just like to bring up these questions so that put yourself in your new employee's shoes and think through what is the kind of tone you want to set for their first day. How do you want to make them feel comfortable and confident in coming into your organization and learning their new job? I will try to monitor the chat, but I also have my colleagues Colette and Tracy here, and they'll let me know if I've missed something that I need to address. Okay. I remember that after about 4 hours, I could no longer process all the information they gave me. Yeah, definitely overwhelm is something that happens on the first day. And then Mary says, intimidated. I was younger than many who worked under me in ages. Yep, intimidated, nervous, overwhelmed. Yeah, I remember a lot of paperwork. Yep. And then Kara says, I was introduced to people, given my laptop, and left to my own devices. Terrifying, no idea what to do. I think that's a pretty common experience as well, sure. So yeah, think about your new person's coming on. How do you want them to feel as they come into the workplace and then at the end of the day?
I want
You
them
want
to
them to
feel
come back
welcome.
the second day, right? Yes, you want them to feel welcome.
Kara, do you want us to like say something if we want to say something, or you want it in the chat?
Yeah, feel free to say something if you like. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I got spoiled. I worked under Renee Goss, but I remember my first day, she spent time with me. Like her and I spent time doing things, working on a few things. We were working on summer reading program, doing some Faribault stuff. So her spending time with me said a lot. And she, spending time with the boss the first day just sort of helped me like at ease but also got me really excited about what I was going to be doing. So I feel like she just set this welcoming environment. And by her being a part of that welcome environment that first day, I think eased some of the nerves and the not sure where things were going to go.
Yeah, thank you, Heather. You were comfortable and you felt important because the leader was spending that much time with you, and then you were fired up about your work. That's exactly what we want at the end of the day. Okay, so you've hired this great new person for your open position, and you're very excited, and hopefully the new person is excited. And so what can we do to help them feel more confident as they learn their new job? So first of all, before you can set a schedule for this person's new day, you want to think about your goals for the position and what you already know about this person's level of experience. So what do they need to know or be able to do in the very short term? We're talking about the first day. Denise alluded to being overwhelmed, and I think that's a pretty common experience on the first day. You're getting a lot of information. You know, there's research that says people only retain a certain small percentage of the information they're given the first go round. So it should be very, very basic. What do you want them to know by the end of their first day? Maybe here's where you sit. Here are the first names of the people you're working with, you know, those kind of things. The first week or the first month is when you're really starting to build that solid foundation of competency and doing the basics of their job. So what does that look like for this person? And then beyond that, we'll talk about setting more ambitious goals by the end of their probationary period, whichever amount of time that may be in your organization. You might think about creating a brief handout or checklist of tasks or goals that you have for them to achieve by the end of their first week. And again, that's going to be very doable. Maybe they're reading through the policy manual, maybe they're logging into your catalog system and completing a few simple tasks, showing that they are able to do a few things that they'll be doing on a daily basis that will give them a sense of achievement. And it's also a practical thing for them to work on, things like that. We love a checklist. So the first checklist of a few different checklists we're going to consider for a new person. What else might they need to know about the library that first week of work? For those of you who have made hiring decisions, what is usually at the top of your list for things you want people to know first and foremost?
Certain policies,
Policies, yeah, definitely.
especially if they're going to be on the circulation desk, unfortunately, they have to learn some of the circulation policies pretty quickly.
And how do they learn those policies?
Well, usually I try to have them sit down and read the policy and then sort of like go on the desk and sort of like experience with another staff member.
So yeah, reviewing them and
It's
practical.
not perfect because really, I mean, maybe you have a better solution, but I mean, reading the policy doesn't really stick unless you actually start to put it into. So you can read, and it kind of depends on the person. Some people just need to read it first, and other people just like barely want to look at it, and they just want to be thrown on the front desk. But you know, you can't. But what I've found is that some people will tell, patrons the wrong information. So tell us, a wise one.
Yeah, so one position had a really detailed schedule for who I was supposed to be with my first week, but no one else got the message. So yeah, it's not just communicating with your new person, but also all the other people who are involved in training and shadowing. Position responsibilities and tasks. Emphasize the privacy aspects. That's a great point. Take them through the library, get them familiar with the library and where things are. Yeah, how to access the building, their workspace, and a mentor or onboarding buddy if that's not the director or supervisor. Ask how they learn. Do they like to observe first, or do they like to jump in and try it with correction and guidance? Yeah, that's an excellent point. And Jennifer says, I give them a folder with daily tasks with policy and collection management policy handouts. So it sounds like it's a really good combination to give them something they can review and read, refer back to, but then having that practical application experience pretty soon is really how they're going to learn the job and boost their confidence and get over that sort of imposter syndrome of, I work here. Like, you do work here, and now you're going to do the work. Where to park and where to put their lunch. Yeah, and that's on a different checklist too. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, the next question, who can they shadow or turn to for asking questions about their work? And I didn't notice that we had too many trustees in the room, but I'm curious, for you directors, what was that like for you? You didn't have, your supervisor's the board, so how does that work out? Who do you turn to for asking questions, or who were you told to refer to for questions? Turn to other directors. Yeah, this is probably something that will be touched upon more when we get to our succession planning webinar. But hopefully your previous director or person in the vacant position was able to leave some contact information for the new person. And that would be really useful for them to be able to reach out and talk to other people in similar positions. It can be pretty lonely to be a new director. And yeah, I turned to Tracy, who is one of our consultants here at the State Library, and that's always a resource for you. You can always reach out to your State Library consultant and we can try to help you out or connect you to other directors who would be happy to share their wisdom with you. Other things on the training checklist. What should be on this person's continuing education calendar? If they're a director here in Montana, they will be expected to go to Federation meetings. There may be some conferences that the new person needs to attend, state library workshops, other training opportunities. You want to get that on their radar pretty soon after they start. Short-term goals for this position, are you both clear on what they are supposed to be doing? How do you check your assumptions for knowing that they know what they're supposed to be doing? You don't want them sitting around the first day thinking, I have no idea why I'm here. So checking communication styles is important. Do they prefer things in writing? Are they more of a verbal processor? That can help you to make sure that you're getting on the same page with them. And how frequently do you plan to check in with your new person? This might depend on your personality, their personality, and also their level of expertise and their background. Do you need to check in with them more frequently? Are you in a smaller library where you're going to be working pretty closely together regardless? So just throughout the day and informally. So it might depend on the position and their background and the size of your library. Referring to the training calendar, Mary says that as a new director, she was provided with a yearly calendar of what big items happen each month. Well, that's really helpful. Those of you who are managers, how often do you meet one-on-one with your staff? Or do you have more of a casual working relationship where they can just ask questions whenever it comes up in their mind? Right, some more checklists for before the first day of work. Probably the first thing that we're thinking of when we have a new person is all the logistical details. Do they need an email? Do they need a key or badge or anything like that? Colette mentioned earlier, like, where do I sit to have lunch? Yeah, just those kind of basic creature comfort things like, where's my chair? Where do I sit when I'm not on a public desk? What kind of equipment do they need? Do they need a laptop? What else do they need for their first day of work? What about all the HR paperwork they will need to fill out? And who do you contact to make those arrangements? Do you have an IT person? Do you have an HR person or a city clerk that you need to contact? So getting all that stuff arranged well in advance will help make the first day less chaotic. We talked about training, and particularly for directors or people who are trying to be certified and have some training requirements, you want to make sure that you have budgeted enough funding and time to allow this person to get the necessary training to do their work. Even though there is a lot of freely available training, and the state library tries to provide freely available training and in-person training opportunities, but you still want to think about travel costs, even gas for a day trip to a workshop. So making sure that you're budgeting so that your person can get the training that they need. How about scheduling? Your first day of work, what is that going to look like? You're going to create an outline for them. It would be helpful to be able to share that with them in advance so they kind of know what to expect. And you want to agree on what time they should arrive for their first day. Maybe they'll come in a little bit later than you so that you can prepare for them to come in. Or maybe they're even just going to work a half day or a couple of half days the first week so that they can ease into the position. Decide what is going to work best for the library and for both of you. And then finally, those individual considerations. Are they experienced at this kind of work? If you hired a circulation clerk, have they worked in a library before? If they've worked in a library with the same catalog system, great. Yeah, that's going to make your job so much easier. But maybe they've never worked in a library before, but they have customer service experience. So, you know, you're going to focus more on the actual like circulation tasks, so how to use this system. Hopefully you have somebody who has a lot of the skills that you need, but it depends on your applicant pool. So just thinking through, okay, what is the baseline we're starting at with this person that can affect how you plan their first day, week, month, and what kind of goals you'll be able to set for that person. Oh, we have a lot of comments in chat about how frequently you're checking in with people. Whenever something comes up, they ask. Sarah says when they first start weekly with daily check-ins, if we're working at the same time. After weekly depends on how much they work full-time. I meet with them every 2 weeks, half-time every 3 weeks, but really the door is always open and they know that. Heather says, I like staff knowing I'm always available if they need help, if they have questions or concerns. And Denise says also, they check in whenever office is nearby. Mary says that's the same in their library as well. Yeah, some people are shy about asking questions and they don't want to look like, you know, like, oh, I should know that by now, or I don't want to bother them. So it really doesn't hurt to encourage people to ask questions and let them know that it's okay if you have to ask the same question twice, because that overwhelm is real and it takes a while to absorb all the information you need to do a job. Sarah says, don't forget telling them emergency procedures, where the AED is, what to do if the fire alarm goes off. Do they use walkie-talkies? What if a toilet starts overflowing? Yeah, all of those details could go on the checklist too. Okay, so that was before the first day of work. Now the exciting first day, and this is the day where we're really setting the tone for this person in terms of our organizational culture, how we relate to one another, how we communicate, work together, how we're setting expectations. And so this is when we are going to do the walkthrough of the library. That's probably the first thing you'll do. Walk through, show them, here's the bathroom, here's the AED, here's the emergency exit. If you are a new director, who's meeting you? Hopefully the board chair, and perhaps someone from your city or county to show you, here's where you shut off the water. Here's the breaker box, all those things. You're going to introduce your new person to the other staff. If this is director, you might meet other trustees, other community partners perhaps, and you hopefully have a list of important contacts for that person to have that they can start working on reaching out to in the next few weeks. And you'll have that handout or packet containing your immediate goals checklist of what you'd like them to review or learn how to do in their first week or first month. They'll have a stack of HR paperwork that they'll need to complete. So you want to budget plenty of time for that and just let them kind of sit and settle and get through their paperwork and get to know people. First day should really be kind of loosely, I guess I would say generously scheduled to allow them to do those important things of meeting people, getting familiar with the physical space, and completing the paperwork. Anything else that you would add for the first day, or do you have any special rituals or traditions that you practice when you welcome a new staff member? Cole added a link in the chat to our new staff member onboarding guide on our website. Thank you, Cole. My first job out of library school, my first day at work, the staff organized a potluck for lunch to welcome me to the team. And that was just such a nice gesture that communicated to me, hey, we're excited you're here and we're the kind of team that does things together. And that turned out to be true. And I really enjoyed being part of that team. So that was kind of a simple, inexpensive way to make me feel really special and welcome on that team. Yeah, we had a couple of other people say taking them out to lunch their first day or week and inviting other colleagues to join you. That's a nice gesture. Denise says there's a best case scenario, but we have also been in a position more than once when we were understaffed and had to throw the person on the desk, and that was not best case. Yeah, not ideal. Sometimes things just don't work out for the best case scenario. Okay, let's talk about the first month. They fill out their paperwork, they know where they're sitting, they know everybody's names. Now what? This is where they are really starting to deepen their understanding of the library's organizational culture. And so not just kind of knowing who people are and basically like, that's the children's librarian, but really getting to know them as people and also their work style, their communication style, getting to know what they're doing in their job so that you have the confidence to say, oh yeah, she's doing that. Getting to know each other's roles a little bit better if you work in a library with several people. Getting to know the building better, and especially if you're a director, everything that facilities management entails, which is kind of a whole job unto itself. So getting to know the building better, all the programs and services that your library provides, who are the partners in your community who help out with those programs and services, who are the people you need to build relationships with. Just the logistics of software and hardware, logging in, basic how-tos. If they are new to your community, maybe they've moved here for a job or they've just moved here recently, they want to get to know more about the community, it might be a good idea to give them some time to explore a little bit so that they have a better understanding of how to serve the community well. The library's mission and values. Somebody mentioned privacy earlier, and this is something that I think we might overlook sometimes if we worked in libraries for a while, but if somebody is brand new to libraries, they may not have a really solid grasp of the values of a library, including patron privacy and freedom to read and things like that that are protected in law. So being sure to let them know about state laws and the organizational mission and policies that uphold the mission of the library that they need to know about to effectively do their jobs. And the library strategic plan, which should help carry out your mission. This might be something, depending on their position and level of authority in the library, sooner or later, they'll want to review that and understand where their work fits into the overall plan, the overall mission, and goals of the library. Where to find policies and procedures, that is something that they should be looking at pretty early on. And then once they're pretty comfortable with all that, then we're going to start setting some more long-term work plan goals. So what else would you add? Anything else that you think you would like people to know by the end of their first month? I mean, that's a lot. Here's another question. How long did it take you to start feeling really confident and comfortable in your current position? I would say for me personally, it was about a year. And I think that's a good thing to remind people, is that it's okay to not know everything immediately, that it's good to ask questions, and it's good to think of yourself as a learner. Yep, Corey says, still learning new things. Yes, absolutely. There's always something new to learn. So after, let's say, I would say a month or so, but it could be a few months depending on who you're working with. That's when we're going to start talking about those more long-term goals with your new employee, and things that line up with the strategic plan. You can probably plan to use these goals for your first performance evaluation with this person. And we're not going to talk about performance evaluation in this session. That's coming up later in the month. But this is where we're going to establish those kind of benchmarks for, this is what we expect you to achieve in this amount of time. So you want to make sure that these goals are appropriate for the time frame and for your person's level of knowledge and competency. So how do we create those conditions for success so that they can achieve their goals? If they need additional training, we need to make that happen. If you're not really sure where to find that training, you can reach out to us at the State Library and we can try to point you in the right direction, or refer you to some resources we think would be appropriate. As we mentioned earlier, you wanted to ask them about their preferences for check-ins and communication. Are they more independent? Do they prefer more regular check-ins? Are they kind of really brand new to libraries and need a little bit more hand-holding in the beginning? If you are the supervisor, what do you prefer? For more frequent check-ins, or are you more of a kind of as-needed meetings person? So having a conversation about that. Here are your goals. What do you need from me to meet these goals? So for boards and new directors, and here's a question for you directors. How did the board check in with you when you first started your job? Was the board chair checking in with you, or was it just at your regular meetings you were having a conversation about how things were going? Which is a good idea to maybe make your strategic plan goals a regular item on your meeting agenda. That could help the board to check in with you and make sure that you have what you need to be successful. And if there's a matter that the board needs to discuss with the director and it impacts the director's personal privacy, such as a performance issue, that is something that could be discussed in a closed session, which needs to be noticed as part of a public meeting session here in Montana. They also have the right to waive that right to privacy and keep that discussion in the open meeting. We're not going to get into open meetings in this session, but we do have resources about open meetings and when it's okay to close a meeting on our website. Melanie says that as the director, she gets to check in with the board at regular meetings, but if they were very open to questions if I had any along the way. Mary sees her board chair every day when she's dropping off her dog. Oh, doggy daycare provider. That's convenient. Any other questions or thoughts about goal setting? We're going to have an example here. We work through this together. Any other observations from your personal experience you'd like to share? Cole shared the information guide to open meeting law and public comment on our website in the chat. Thank you, Cole. Okay, we're going to refer back to the example that Tracy used in her hiring webinar, talking about the front desk person that you hired. So let's set goals for your front desk person. Let's say you've hired somebody and they have some customer service experience. They worked at the grocery store, but they've never worked in a library before. So what are some goals you would like to set for this person for the first month or so? What do you think would be realistic for them to learn? You're welcome to unmute or put your thoughts in the chat box.
I thought I had to make a reference policy because, as it turns out, that what I thought was common sense being a librarian was not that you can't just give your opinion at the reference desk and give out your own personal medical opinion and not cite sources and stuff like that. So, so now we have a reference policy. So before somebody is on the front desk, I would make them read that.
That's kind of one of those library organizational culture things that we might assume people know, is that you leave your personal opinions behind when you get on the reference desk, right? But that might be something that you have to say out loud. The circulation system, Mary says, yeah. What else? What other goals would you have for your new front desk person? Issuing library cards, processing fine payments.
Appropriate, answering of the phone, how to direct phone calls when you need to, what they might be doing from faxing, copying, scanning, who to find if they don't know how to answer it or don't know what to do, how to direct people when they come in, checking in and out, which is a huge one, and yeah, what to do if a situation arises too, what direction to go with that.
Right. There could be all kinds of situations. Dress code. So kind of conduct, it sounds like, just basically how to behave on the front desk, how to represent the library well on the front desk, who to refer to if you don't know the answer. How are you going to know if these goals are accomplished? And how is your new person going to know that they're doing well?
I mean, you should probably watch from afar a little bit, like to kind of see how things are going and let them see how they deal with tough spots when something kind of goes awry, how they deal with it, if they, work their way through it, if it just becomes too overwhelming, if they're struggling with the little tasks, which is going to make it harder for the big tasks when those come up, and then visiting with them after they've spent some time, depending on the day and what's come through that desk, and seeing how they felt about it, how they felt, if they felt like they were set up to deal with it, or if there's something they felt like was missing. So you also need to get feedback from them so you can adjust there too.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. You can always check in with them after their shift or even after an interaction and say, how do you think that went? How did it go? You have any questions? encouraging them to ask questions and to self-evaluate, like, yeah, I did that well, or, oh, I wasn't really sure what I was doing. Yeah, kind of an iterative process. Mary says, greeting everyone who comes in the door. Yeah, the basic public service kind of ethic. And when to hand things off if you have more than one desk. Mhm. What do you think this person needs in order to be successful? When you're thinking about before they start, are you going to have them shadow somebody? What else do they need? What kind of training do they need, if any, to be successful in this position? Well, we're going to go deeper into the topic of performance evaluation, performance management next time when Tracy is going to lead that conversation. But this will hopefully give you kind of a baseline for having that conversation later down the road, that you'll have some goals to review. And hopefully this is an ongoing conversation as they're learning and asking questions, so that they maybe won't be surprised when you have that more formal conversation later down the road. Mary says, in terms of training, some need soft skills training, like staying off their personal phones, and dressing appropriately. And Denise says, we have 2 people on the front desk, and the second person is critical in helping the first one learn the catalog system and procedures. Mm-hmm. You can have a shadowing buddy. That's great. Kimberly says they need to be able to try tasks on their own with someone else there rather than only observe. Thank you. Okay, so I skipped a slide. I wanted to show you some more resources that we have available for you to support you in personnel management. I'm going to exit out of my slides here and go over to our personnel support tab. And on this tab, thank you, Colleen. I thought you might put the link in chat for me. On this tab, we have a short video about managing personnel. We have links to federal employment law resources. If you have an HR person in your city or county, they should be pretty familiar with these laws and should be able to help you out. So if you have any questions about employment law. And then our handbooks, of course, there's our library director handbook and our trustee handbook. We also have that new staff member onboarding guide that Colleen put in the chat. We have some sample library job descriptions that you can peruse and adapt to use. That would be helpful to you. Succession planning we'll talk about later on, but there's a guide here for you to review. And compensation handbook, how to advocate for fair wages in your library. Library board's guide to working with library personnel. And then below we have the staffing and salaries dashboard, which is the companion to the public library's compensation handbook. We also have on our Montana State Library YouTube channel a human resources playlist. So these are some recorded webinars and videos to help you with a variety of different HR issues. We had a 2-hour training on performance management for directors and supervisors, evaluating library staff, and some other issues that are pertinent to personnel management and HR issues. So welcome to review those at any time. What other questions do you have about this topic about onboarding? Anything else you'd like to ask or discuss? You're also welcome to pose questions to your colleagues here in the meeting if you like. If you don't have any questions or if you're typing in chat, I'll go ahead and throw a question out to you. What is one thing you would like to do differently the next time you plan an onboarding for a new employee? Tracy says, I like the half day idea. Let somebody come in for half a day, do a little bit and ease into their job. Is there anything else? Melanie says, I would love more opportunities to interact directly with the staff, but there just never seems to be enough time. Yeah, that can definitely be a challenge.
There was a question about allowing enrichment reading, which is paid time for reading job-related material. And some people have already responded.
Do you all do that in your library? Do you have off desk time where people can read or do continuing education work?
They can't read, but they can do continuing education work. If they requested to read something that was continuing education, then I guess I would allow it, but then they would have to do what we do for their CE, which is write a little report and send it to the rest of the staff. And when I say report, it doesn't have to be a full report. It's just like a couple of sentences or paragraphs about what they learned, and they send an email to everybody else.
Oh, we had a question from Sarah. How would you as an employee handle not being given detailed onboarding information when you were hired? How do you ask for documents or procedures that don't exist? I'm sure that some people in the room have been in that situation before. So what would you do? So you've come in to a new job and just kind of been left to your own devices, perhaps. What do you do?
When I started here, the procedures were incredibly outdated, and so I just made my own.
Did you have somebody to bounce those ideas off of, or how did you have a reference point for what you were creating?
Well, as far as workflows and the cataloging, as we had staff, obviously there was staff here that were already hired and doing it. So I just learned it and watched them and documented it. Actually, and I've turned over the SOP, the standard operating procedures, to other staff members that wanted it because they felt like my SOP was not detailed enough because I have a lot of, well, I'm not a computer expert or anything like that, but I do have enough computer skills that I forget to mention some steps. And they said it was confusing for those that were coming in. So I've had at least two staff members that wanted to take it over. And so I let them.
Well, Sarah, it might depend on your position at the library and whether you have colleagues doing similar work that you can refer to, or if you are the director, reaching out to other directors and asking for some advice might be a good idea. Burley says, I like the idea of assigning one main mentor to the new employee. Other employees are part of the training, but from my own experience, employees can give the new person contradictory information. One main mentor can be a good source for the employee to ask for clarification. Yeah, and we didn't talk a lot about mentoring, but depending on your organizational structure, you also want to think carefully about who that mentor is going to be. It's hopefully not somebody who applied for the job that the new person has, because that is probably not going to be a very comfortable situation for anyone. And also, hopefully the person who is mentoring the new person is doing things that are already within their job description. So in other words, you're not asking them to go above and beyond what they were hired to do in order to be the mentor for that person. Unless this person is absolutely excited about being a mentor and has volunteered in that way. We just want to be really careful not to create any kind of situation that could build resentment or scope creep for that person. How to build confidence in employees, new or not. Do you all have any suggestions for Mary? How do you help your employees to feel more confident?
Confident in what? Exactly.
I have a really good employee. She's been here a long time. But she really is so worried she's going to do something wrong all the time. And I'm trying to get her over that, that you can get over, it'll be fine. She doesn't like to try new things necessarily. She is amazing with the customers. She knows everybody's everything, like she knows everything about everybody, I think. She knows what they read, she knows what they'll like. She's amazing. And I do ask her for her opinions, Corey, but she just doesn't she's so afraid of making a mistake. And I just wondered if anybody had anything like that where you could, there's something specific I could do for her.
We had a couple of suggestions of offering praise when you see them doing things correctly, ask for their opinions when possible, showing that you see them as a leader and an expert and you value their opinions. What does success look like for this person? And how are you going to communicate to them that they are being successful by their measure of success? Some people don't really want a lot of praise in the way that other people do. That may not be their definition of success. So just figuring out what is it they need to really feel like, yes, I'm doing this well and I am competent.
Maybe it's one of those things where you focus on what she's really good at. So when you need her to try something you knew, you can be like, yeah, but look at all these things over here that you did that you were successful at. So that means you have the ability to be successful at something else. So maybe refocusing on the things she's really good at when you need her to work on something new to show her that, look at the confidence you've got over here. So I think you could bring it into something new and try something different.
That's a good idea. Thank you all for your suggestions.
C also says that giving them specific feedback, asking their permission to give feedback and gently point out how your behavior is holding her back, and then expressing a belief that she can overcome and offer support. Maybe also giving them permission to make mistakes because we all make mistakes, especially when we're learning new things. Anything else? Any other questions that you have for each other or things that you think I might have missed about the onboarding process that we need to talk about? Oh. Well, we are coming up to the top of the hour. Hey, Cole has your camera on. You want to lead us through the follow-up instructions, Cole?
Sure. And well, I'll just make this really brief. As we conclude each of our webinars, just to let you know that recordings are available in our YouTube channel, usually by the end of the same day that we host the webinar. And you can, like I said, go to our YouTube channel and you'll see those. For those who want to have credit, and we're speaking primarily specifically to Montana librarians who are working on certification. What we ask you to do is go to our MSL Learn platform. Probably by the end of the day today, there will be a course that you can enroll in. You don't have to rewatch the video, but we do provide information, resources, discussion questions that go along with the recording from today's webinar. And then you complete an evaluation in that course, and then you'll get your credit in that way. So if that's not familiar to you, we've got lots of help information again, also in the YouTube channel and in our knowledge bases. But please do share the recordings. And if this is something that you think that other directors who weren't able to join us today would like to be able to access, feel free to reach out to your colleagues and let them know that this learning opportunity is here. For those of you who don't need credit, we do always appreciate getting evaluation feedback. And so, Kara, on that last slide is the link and our QR code for our state library evaluation survey. I'll put the link here in the chat in just a second if you'd like to fill that out. But I'm also able to answer any questions that anybody might have about how to get credit or how to access the YouTube channel.
Well, please reach out if you have any questions or if you ever just want to talk to somebody about personal management issues. Your consulting team is here. Happy to hear from you. Thank you for your time and attention today.
Thanks, everybody. And this is so exciting because our next session is about feedback. And so I think this will feed very nicely into that. So we hope that all of you will come back for that continuing conversation.